Christine Karki, and I am directing Grease this summer at Lyric Arts. Why Grease? Why now? I think that's a really valid question. And first of all, I think that Grease is an extremely popular musical for a lot of really great reasons. So hey, let's do it because it's an awesome show and it's super fun and people love it. But I also think that that we can do Grease in a unique way and a different way. It's 2015. It was written in 1971, about 1958-59, that school year. And I think that that's a very interesting way to approach the show. You know, what were the writers thinking and what were they trying to say in 1971 about the late 50s, and what can we in 2015 say about all of that now with all of that hindsight? I think it's a fun way to approach the show. We are exploring a more realistic, grittier side to the show because I think that that's what the writers intended originally. In doing a lot of research for the show was written and produced originally in Chicago, about Chicago. It was done in a very short period of time. I mean, if you really look at the original script and the original lyrics, it is an anti-establishment show. This is a musical about teens questioning and rebelling against the man, you know, and I think that we really wanted to bring that out. I think over the years, the movie and then all the different remounts where celebrities and then reality show people, it became a vehicle to feature those folks, and there's nothing wrong with that. Bringing it back to its roots in the original script, I think it is gritty. I mean, it's gritty. These are people from a working class neighborhood. They're not going to get out. You know, you think about what was going on in our country at that time. I mean, there was so much percolating under that sort of perfect surface that, of course, we now know was nowhere near perfect. But there was so much going on in the late 50s that poof, you know, the 60s come and oh my gracious, all of the political unrest and the sexual revolution, all of that came about because of the repression in the 50s. And I feel like this show, again, being written in 1971 about this time period, is basically showing that these kids are starting to kind of ease out of the cracks. They're like the goo coming out of the cracks, and they're a little ahead of their time. They're about to be like, all right, world, we're gonna show you what's up, what the reality of what's going on. The reason why I was so excited to do Grease here at Lyric Arts is when Laura spoke to me about doing the show, she was excited about doing it in a different way.
When this musical was written in the 1970s, and especially when it was made into a movie, it was, especially with the movie, everybody had sort of this nostalgic view of the 50s. We can talk about, you know, shows like Happy Days and things like that. There was this nostalgic view of the 50s and the 70s that was this golden time. And Grease sort of was there to remind people that that wasn't really the truth. So when we started to look at producing Grease in 2015, we wanted to look at from what we know of the 50s now, what that time looked like. Let's look at who those kids really would have been. Let's look at what their surroundings really would have been. Grease the musical is not set in sunny California like Olivia Newton-John and John Travolta. It's in working class Chicago.
Seeing Grease and a lot of the versions that have been done of the show within the last, 20 or so years, it's lessened my excitement about it. I was more excited as a kid than I was as a young adult. But hearing that she wanted to do it in a different way, and that she wanted to really show these characters as more, having more depth. They're three-dimensional people as opposed to just archetypes. And that is exciting to me because this show is done so often as just this sort of veneer, and I was really excited to delve into it and peel back the layer of the onion and really get to know these people as people instead of stereotypes. If we see the show through that lens, It's exciting and hopefully a little different than what people are expecting and what they've seen before.